Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nicky V. I'm a studio musician here in Nashville. Play on records, and then I tour the country band called Shenandoah and do the teaching and all that stuff too. But trying to get this YouTube channel off the ground. And first off, I just want to thank you guys for all the really kind words on last week's video on the harmonic major scale. Appreciate you guys watching that and leaving all the really kind comments. It's really nice of y'all. And thanks for subscribing. This week we're going to be talking about pentatonic substitutions. And what's cool about this is it allows you to get more mileage out of some of the scale shapes you already know. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're just basically trying to reapply what you already know. You're already familiar with these scale shapes. We're just going to figure out different chordal contexts we can superimpose them on top of. So I'm not going to break down every single little interval and how it relates back to its parent key, because that would make the lesson an hour long and we don't have time for that. But I just want to give it to you straight so you can get it under your hands, give you the shortest way possible to get your head wrapped around it so you can go straight to it and start applying it right away. So the first substitution we're going to look at is going to be over just a one major chord. So we're going to stay in the key of C for the whole lesson just for continuity. So let's take just a C major capital chord, right? Our minds typically would go to playing this fifth position C major pentatonic right here. The one we all know and love, right? That's kind of our go-to improvising spot. But if we want to kind of, like I said, turn up that color fader a little bit, we can actually go up and we can play E minor pentatonic or G major pentatonic. And so how I think about this is whatever major key you're in, just go up a third, right? 1, 2, 3. And the key of C, that's E. So you play E minor pentatonic. So if you have a major key, go up a major third and then play a minor pentatonic scale. Or you can think of it like going up, 1, 2, 3, 4 frets. So in this case right here, it'll sound like this. So you might have noticed that this particular pentatonic substitution generates a major 7 interval, or in the key of C, it gives you a B note. So if you're playing over a C major 7, for example, and you're playing an E minor pentatonic scale, which would be the substitution for it, that's going to give you a B note. So this substitution is kind of tailor-made for playing over a major 7 chord. Now we're going to look at a pentatonic substitution over a minor chord. So say we just take like an A minor 7, for example. We got a vamp going. You might just want to go like straight to our typical A minor blues runs, right? Which always sounds great, but eventually you might get tired of that. So if you wanted to like inject a little bit more flavor into it, what you could do is play an E minor pentatonic scale. So for this substitution, what you do is you figure out your key, which is A minor in this example, and you go up a fifth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's E. So we're still in the key of A minor, but we're going to play E minor pentatonic scales over that A minor vamp. So typically where you hear that substitution is a lot of the time like in like neo-soul or gospel, keyboards still use that substitution a lot. That's kind of where I hear it. And like I said, it just generates that 9, it pops out, it softens the sound a little bit if you're wanting to get away from something that's a little more stable and diatonic. So now we're going to look at something a little bit different. We're going to start looking at how to apply pentatonic substitutions to kind of get a modal sound happening. So I'm not going to go off in the big crazy land of digging into modes. I don't think like that. I know them, but I don't typically think I'm going to switch to Aeolian right now or Lydian or anything. I just have a few tricks and I just kind of target whatever notes I need to kind of bring out the chordal structure happening underneath it. But the first one we're going to look at is how to get like easy peasy Lydian sound happening. So if you have like a C major 7 chord, for example, and you want to play Lydian over that, you can go down a half step and play minor pentatonic. So if you're in the key of C, for example, play B minor pentatonic. So there's your cheat code for the Lydian pentatonic substitution. Basically go down a half step and play minor pentatonic. So if we're wanting to use a pentatonic substitution to give us a Dorian tonality, what we'd do is we'd go up a whole step. So if we're in A Dorian, for example, we go from A up a whole step to B, and we play B minor pentatonic. And what that does is that gives us that 6. it generates the sixth interval, and that's what colors the Dorian scale, right? So we're in A, go up a whole step, play minor pentatonic. Now, I also don't want you guys this to be totally blocked off just to this one scale shape, right? What's cool is if you can stay right here and play the respective scale shape for B minor pentatonic without moving up to where you just know it automatically, right? So you can be a little more fluid if you're transitioning between A minor pentatonic to B minor pentatonic. So for example, if I'm right here in A minor pentatonic, and I want to transition to B minor pentatonic, because that'll give us that 6 right there. So if you can, learn all your scale shapes for your minor pentatonic scale in all 5 positions. It'll kind of open up the fretboard for you. I might post a link to that, to like some diagrams down in the description if I can figure out how to do that. But yeah, so here's what it sounds like in the context of a little jam. So the last substitution we're looking at is definitely like a very dissonant one. So you might have heard of playing like, melodic minor scales and altered scales and all that. What this is it's a substitution that generates an altered sound. So say we have this chord, for example. We're in the key of C and our 5 chord is altered. We have a G that's altered, something like that. What we can do is we can go up a minor third or 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, from G to B flat and play the minor pentatonic. So if we have this chord, we can play this over it. And by itself, that sounds weird because what it is it's giving us a flat third, a flat 5, a flat 6, a flat 7, and a flat 9. So it's giving us all of the altered chords, or all the altered chord tones is what it's doing. And it sounds weird by itself because the key is you have to resolve it. So what I'll do is I'll play just like a G altered to a C major 7 back and forth, and I'll show how to resolve it and then kind of build the tension back to resolve it. So that's 5 different pentatonic substitutions right there. I'm going to do a quick little review, just make sure they're sinking in for everybody. If we're over a 1 major chord, you go up a major third. So 2 whole steps. That'd be C to E. Minor pentatonic now. Over a minor chord, A minor for example, you go up a 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's an E as well in the key of A minor. So you can play an E minor pentatonic scale over an A minor chord. For C Lydian, if you want to generate a Lydian sound using a pentatonic scale, you just go down a half step from your root. So C to B. For a Dorian sound, you go up a whole step from your root. So if we have A Dorian, you go from A to B, whole step. Okay, then the last one was kind of the tricky one that's really dissonant because it gives us all the altered tones. From a G altered chord, you go up a minor third, which is a step and a half. Play minor pentatonic. So we're going to do a little pop quiz to make sure this is sinking in for you guys. So I'm going to give you a key and then tell you whatever pentatonic substitution you're supposed to do, but you got to figure out where to move it to. So let's take G major, for example. G major 7. What pentatonic substitution can you do over a G major 7 chord? Okay, pause it. Now the correct answer is B minor pentatonic. So that's one option you can go up. And how you do that is you just go up a major third, right? 1, 2, 3, which is B. Or go up 1, 2, 3, 4 frets. Okay, the next one we're going to do is, let's do the one for minor. So let's do C minor, okay? So we're in the key of C minor, vamping on a C minor chord. You need to do a pentatonic substitution for C minor. Okay, pause it. Okay, unpause it. The correct answer is you go up a fifth from C to G. So if you're in C, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a G note. So if you're vamping over a C minor chord, you play G minor pentatonic. So good job on that if you got it. Next one is going to be, let's do one for Lydian. So let's take D Lydian, for example. So we need to figure out a pentatonic substitution for D Lydian. What minor pentatonic scale would you put over this to give that a Lydian tonality? Okay, pause it. Okay, unpause it. The correct answer is going to be C sharp minor pentatonic. Okay, now let's do Dorian. So let's take, let's do E Dorian. So say we got this kind of tonality happening. And we're trying to figure out a pentatonic scale to put on top of that to give us a Dorian tone or a Dorian kind of vibe happening. Pause it. Okay, the correct answer is going to be F sharp minor pentatonic. Okay, and our last one is going to be altered. So let's do, let's take E altered. So, okay, these kind of, it's like very like spooky kind of sounds, right? If we want to get all the altered tones, what pentatonic scale will we substitute on top of this? Pause it. Okay, the correct answer is up a minor third to G minor. So you go up 3 frets from E, your root, and then you're in G minor. Okay, like I said, it's weird out of context unless you resolve it, but good job if you got those. If not, just keep working at it, guys. Like I said, you know, there's rewind it. I'll put all the different scale intervals in there so you can kind of keep following along with it and make sure you're in the right spots. So I'm gonna give you like a really cool little chromatic pentatonic substitution trick. So this works over a 2-5-1. So we're gonna be in the key of C, and we're gonna play a D minor 7, a G altered, or a G to a C. So that's 2, 5, 1. So over each of these chords, we're going to play a different pentatonic substitution pulling from what we learned earlier. So for example, in D, we're going to use, that's a D minor chord, so we're going to go to the 5th, okay? So the 5th of D is D minor, is A. So we're going to, over the D minor chord, we're going to play an A minor pentatonic scale, okay? Now when the G comes, we're going to go up a half step from our previous pentatonic substitution and play a B flat minor pentatonic substitution. And that's going to be over the G altered chord. And then we're going to go up another half step to B minor pentatonic to give us a Lydian sound over our 1. So over the 2 chord, the 2 minor, we're going to play an A minor pentatonic scale. And then we're going to go up a half step and play B flat minor pentatonic scale. And then up another half step and play B minor pentatonic. So over this one, then as resolved with the C note. So I'll jam over that so you can kind of hear what that sounds like. Somebody mentioned on the last video to do a little outro jam, so I'll try to throw some of the concepts we were just talking about into this, and appreciate it. For all my gear guys out there wondering what the signal chain is, I'm running a custom shop telly into an Archer Select, which is a fantastic overdrive pedal from J Rocket Audio. I use it on a low gain setting. I might do a demo video on that later, actually. And from there, I'm running into an HDRX20 head, which is an exact replica of Hendrix's Plexi from Woodstock, into an Universal Audio aux box, which you all know how great that is. There's 1,000 videos on those. Then I'm going into Logic using Universal Audio verbs and delays. I think I'm using their Galaxy delay and their plate reverb. It's lush and beautiful. So I'll put links to that down in the description. And if you guys click on that, Sweetwater gives me a little bit of a commission on that, so that helps fund the channel and helps me buy more cameras and more batteries and all that stuff. But appreciate you guys watching. If you don't mind, check out last week's video if you haven't seen it yet on the harmonic major scale. I'll post that over one of these shoulders, then the subscribe button should be there too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you found this helpful. I know there's a bunch I missed, but I just really want to thank you guys for watching the channel, spending some time here with me. Still getting this all figured out, but I think it's getting better, and thank you guys for the support. And comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, helps the algorithm out. Thanks for watching.